Good afternoon, good afternoon. You're here on a Don't Give It Hour, and this is our second installment of Mancave Talk. And this time about what is a real man? What do you think a real man is? A real man is somebody who takes responsibility for responsibility for what he does. A real man is somebody who is reliable and dependable. My guest today is Mike Walker, and we're gonna discuss what other characteristics, what a real man really is. How you doing, Mike? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. How you doing?
Doing good.
Mhm.
Yeah. We're gonna discuss what a real man is today, okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's a good topic.
Because we got we got boys raising boys, we got women raising boys. Back in the day, you get smacked back in the head if you acting up, right?
Yep. Yes, you would.
You know, or, or you get beat down. But nowadays, it's not that way. So we're gonna discuss what it is to be a real man. What are some of the misconceptions that the world tell us about what that the world tell us about that the world tell us is?
Well, one of the things is that, well, how many women has a man conquered? You know,
Hmm.
how many notches he has on his belt. That's always been a criteria or prerequisite of what a real man is. Or how much he can do, or is he athletic? Can he do so-called manly things? Drink each other under the table. You know, the world has a kind of a skewed definition of view of what a real man is. And with each generation, if you can look around, uh, we don't have that many real, I guess, would you say, real men going around these days. You don't. And not being, you just don't. You just don't. I leave it at that.
And I say this: some women don't like men who are nice, because I've been told that I was too nice before I got married.
Mm.
The women say, "You too nice to me." What's too nice? What is too nice?
I don't know. Well, and again, it's what society has put upon us. You have, I guess, tough macho men being glorified. And I guess they just want someone, you know, some women like that. Some women like that. They want someone who's assertive. And there is a way for anyone to be too nice, because
Yeah,
I used to date a woman, I was nice to her, but once I became assertive, like, this is what's going to happen, and this is the law, and whatever. Oh, she was saying, oh, that turned me on right there.
yeah,
I think a woman wants a man that's going to take charge. Not
yes.
only just act tough, but not only to talk, but she want him to walk the
Walk
walk.
the walk. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. And I'll say this: some of our boys today, they're being raised by women,
Mm-hmm.
and they have no clue what a man does.
Mm-hmm.
They have no clue.
Mm-hmm.
They have never seen a man in action.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've seen a man in action, but it probably was on television or movies or what have you. And this is not to knock single parenthood, especially
No.
single mothers.
Yeah.
They do an excellent job doing the best they can, you know, using what they got and what have you. However, and this comes along every Father's Day, that you know how they like to say Happy Father's Day to the mothers who take upon that role. No,
Yeah.
no, there's no such thing. You know, a mother is a mother. A mother cannot be both a mother and a father, just like a father cannot be both a mother and a father. You know, a mother has her roles. If there's this, you know, a mother can teach her child, her son, several things, you know, like how to drive or how to take care of
Tie,
the
tie,
house, tie, or
tie.
what have you. But it just some things
That a
you just need
man.
that. You need that father, not just a man now, not just a man, but a father figure man. You
Yeah.
know, someone that could teach you the right things of life. This only does some things a man can do, a real man.
Yeah, you know my aunt called them breath and britches.
Mm,
She
okay,
said, you ain't
okay.
nothing but breath and britches.
Mm,
My aunt used to say that.
yes, yeah.
And I can say this, I was raised by a single mother too.
Hmm.
But when I say but I thank God that I turned out into the man that I am.
Hmm. Oh, yes, I can understand. I was raised by my mother. Now, my grandfather was around, you know, but I didn't have too much after that, though. And there's some things I had to learn on my own. So,
Yeah,
and again, I just see today's generation, and psh, maybe 1 out of 5 have a father figure around. So, and this have started, and I've talked about this several times on my platform, that this stuff probably started back in the 50s, 1950s, where men and women, black men, let me restate this. The African American family started to split up.
yes,
I always say it started in the mid 20th centuries, you know, the 1950s, but some people said it may have started earlier than that, you know. And then you may look at the slave times, you know,
yeah,
uh, master stayed splitting up families, you know, taking a man's family from him, put him with another family. He started a family with them, separate them though. But that was forced separation. But somehow in the early to mid 20th century, I guess the black man decided, hey, I don't have to be married or I don't have to be around. So, and here we are in the year of our Lord 2021, and it seems like it's getting worse. I
yes,
think it is.
yeah. It even goes back to welfare.
Okay.
In welfare, if you had a man in the house,
Mm-hmm.
if they saw some male draws, they saw some they that I want to say because my mama worked in public housing,
Okay.
and some of those women had men staying there.
Mm-hmm.
But when the government came, the
Mm-hmm.
man had to take all the stuff out the house.
Hmm.
Had to take drawers, everything out the house. When they came there to inspect.
And you know, I saw that in the movie. What was that? Claudine. I think that was Claudine or Claudia. It was one of them with Diane Karen, James Earl Jones. Same scenario. You know, he bought them household small things like a toaster or something like that. And the welfare caseworker came around. She found those things, and she was like, "Hey, well, we got to cut your welfare off. But hey, you gonna cut our welfare off for this?" So, but back to what we were saying though, the family structure has really gone down. And there are a few guys out there who willing to get married. You know, I'm one of them, but
Yeah.
Uh, I just don't know. I honestly don't know what the answer is, though. The best we can do is mentor these young men,
Yes.
on how to be a man. You know, there's this story, and I don't know if you ever heard of this or not. There was this wildlife reserve, and the rhinoceros, they kept finding dead rhinoceros. Okay, just found them dead, and they was wondering what was happening to those rhinoceros. And come to find out that the young male elephants were killing them. They would gang up on a rhinoceros and kill them. So they was figuring out, well, how are we gonna stop this? So somebody got the idea to get a older adult male elephant and bring him onto the reserve. Okay. And he was a big guy, big old elephant. This true story. And he came there, he took charge, and guess what? The rhinoceros casualties stopped. That makes a big difference right there.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way God designed it, God designed the man to be the head of the household.
Mm-hmm.
That's God design. That's God design.
Yes.
And we have dropped the ball. And I admit we dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
When I say even in church,
Mm-hmm.
it's more women in church than men. We have just we have just left our position wide open.
Y- You know, uh, I think it was many years ago. I was talking with this woman, and she had a female pastor. And I said, well, why y'all got a female pastor? And she said, well, none of the men stepping up, so we got a female pastor. You see, now there are many arguments for or against a female pastor, but I know what Timothy says, and I think Titus, I know what they say. So,
Yeah.
but again, though, we as men, when we don't step up, we're forfeiting our rights. Okay? We're forfeiting our rights to what we supposed to do. We supposed to be leaders. Now, this does not mean that in a chauvinistic way, you know, you do what I say or they're gonna be hell to pay. No, we're not talking about it from that point of view. It just you need to be a leader, lead by example. And then once you lead by example, then your mate, your helpmeet, your family, they'll follow you. Mm-hmm.
It's how I'm like quarterback. The quarterback knows how his running back. He runs a route.
Mm-hmm.
So the quarterback knows how to throw the
Yeah.
ball to him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, us men, we're the quarterback of the family.
Mm-hmm.
We got to know how our wife, how cheering.
Mm-hmm.
We have to know how they move
Mm.
because a quarterback can motivate the players to play good. But now everybody's different, so you got to do it different ways.
Mm-hmm. Well, I speak for myself. I go a step further. Not only I'm the head coach, I'm the offensive coordinator and the defensive coordinator as well, though. So I'm gonna know everything about the household. At least do the best I can. And it doesn't mean I don't need her help.
Yeah.
Nobody, there's no one in this world that doesn't need help. Because I know I need help, you know. But we just have to step up to the plate. We have to do what we have to do. We have to be the provider. We gotta we have to take care of our household. Okay? No wife should have to ask another person especially another man, for assistance,
Mhm.
financial or whatever,
Mhm.
when she got a man laying up in the house.
And I say, us men,
Mm-hmm.
we are good providers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to that emotional, when it comes to that housework, sometimes we drop the ball. We provide for them. We put gas in the car. We put clothes to wear. We do all that stuff right there. But when it comes to emotional needs, and when I say it goes beyond that. It goes beyond financial.
Well, that's the thing. What we've been taught as men, or at least it's been implied, that men shouldn't be emotional.
Hmm.
And no, men shouldn't show their emotion. No, men should show their emotion. You know, now you don't want anyone that's sitting up there blubbering all the time. You know,
Yeah.
like no, you don't want that now. You know, come on, reel it back in now. Get a hold to yourself. But nothing wrong with showing your emotion. You know, nothing wrong with showing your emotion, because a woman wants to see every facet of that man, to see him to take charge, to see him to use wisdom and compassion. Want to see all of that. So yeah.
Yeah. So I hope to see one day when us men stop falling into the trap of the world.
Hmm. Well, well, here's the thing though. Here's the thing. It goes back to what the media is presenting to our young men, and might well say to our daughters as well.
Hmm.
You know, and until we step up and say, hey, this is not true. Listen to me. This is how we should do it. You know, in my area, uh, there are mentoring programs all around, trying to mentor young men, you know, and mentoring can go a mighty long way. If you can be a mentor, talk to the young men, talk to them and let them know, hey, you don't have to be, and you don't have to be a womanizer, okay? You don't have to beat a woman. You don't have to steal. You know, you have to learn how to provide. You know, and I think about my late brother-in-law. You know, he provided for my sister when they were married. He's deceased, and well, they're both deceased, and he provided for her. Did everything. And my nephew, when he was a little baby, he saw that. He saw his dad doing for his mother. So he would sit up there and pretend that he's going to work, okay? And say he got to buy something for his girlfriend. You see? You
Yeah.
see, he looked at that. We can talk to them all day till we turn blue. But they have to see your words in action. You know,
Yes.
like I said, lead by example.
Yeah, that's true because back in the day they used to say, do as I say, not as I do. That's not gonna work today.
Mm-mm.
That's not gonna work today. That's not gonna work today.
Mm-hmm.
It's
No.
not gonna it's not gonna work today.
And and again, you have to lead by example. Again, I can tell you all day, Travis, leave that whiskey alone. Leave that drink alone, But you see me and I got some Johnny Walker Red in my hand or something like that, and I'm staggering. But I'm telling you, leave that stuff alone. Now, ain't something wrong with that picture right there?
Yes, there is.
Okay, then. No, you have to walk the walk, and you have to talk the talk. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And then we have to, and I know you have a list that we discuss the attributes of a real man, though. And once we follow those things and make sure that we're following those attributes, then our job should become somewhat easier in how to teach our young men how to be or how to become real men.
Yes. I read somewhere a real man doesn't, a real man doesn't, a real man doesn't have to say it's a real man. He shows it.
Mm-hmm.
You can see in
Mm-hmm.
his action, you can see in his words, you
Mm-hmm.
see in the way he walks, the way he talks.
Mm-hmm.
You can see in the way he handles himself.
Yes. Yes. And again, you have to be a living example because think about this. We had to see somebody, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We saw some people. So both good and bad. Let's be honest. We saw
Yeah.
good and bad, and some of that bad we repeated.
Mm-hmm.
So, we got to do right.
Yes, and so
Mm-hmm.
not every boy becomes a man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's so true. Not every boy becomes a man.
That's right. Yeah, that's absolutely, and it's a difference. You can grow up, but you can still have the mentality. You can still have the mentality of a boy.
Mm-hmm.
You still think like a boy. But unless there's someone there to teach you, and preferably, of course, a man who is a real man, unless he's there to teach you, then you're just gonna be, you're gonna be a lost ball in high weed, like we used to say.
Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I learned through life experience. I learned through life experience. I learned life experience to be a man because I made some mistakes in my lifetime and I got it and I got a hell and I got a hell in high water. Couldn't swim, almost drowned,
Mm,
but somehow, somewhere, I made it out that.
mm. I understand. I've been in some pickles myself. you know, I've been in some things I shouldn't have been in. It just by the grace of God. And like this old saying, it said, God take care of babies and
They
fools.
fools.
And he definitely took care of this fool right here. Okay.
Yeah.
This fool wearing this red shirt. He's definitely taking care of this one right here. You
Yes.
know, time and time again. I always say this that when people ask me how I'm doing, I say, well, I'm doing better than what I deserve.
Yeah.
And that's just the truth.
Yeah. Because
Mm,
they're called life lessons.
mm-hmm.
If we only pay attention to them, we will we will know what to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
like in school when you didn't pass the course, you had
Mm-hmm.
to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't learn from life lessons, we're gonna repeat that over and over and over again in our lives.
Yep, I know about repeating things in
I
school.
do too. I do too.
I know about that, and it happens. It happens. And, they say you learn from your mistakes, but some people choose not to do that. Sometimes it takes one mistake, two mistakes, three mistakes, et cetera, before you finally get it, before you finally say, you know what, let me try something different. It's like they say the meaning of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result each time. No, no, you got to change your mindset. If you know that let me see, you making a cake and you put just one egg in there and you know the cake is not turning out right, then try two eggs. If that don't work, three. And if that don't work, hey, try four. Try what you need to do before you realize, okay, this working right here. Trial and error. Now you have to be a little careful when you're dealing with human beings now, especially the
Mm-hmm.
young men. We had to, I keep saying this during this broadcast, we got to teach them. We got
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that we're doing right. Let's not be hypocrites about it. Let's not have a double standard about it. If we're trying to tell them not to do this and do that, let's make sure we're not doing the things that we're preaching against.
Yes.
Hmm.
So true. So true. And some of the characters are honesty,
Hmm.
compassion, respect, fairness, accountability, courage, and responsibility.
Hmm. Well, I'm gonna deal briefly with honesty, and you just got to be honest. You have to be honest. You got to deal in honest. You have to have honest dealings. You know, make sure you treat people right. You fair. Don't try to cheat people out their money. Let's just be honest. Tell the truth as much as you can. You know, it was this wrestling promoter, Sam Mushnick, I think. He had this old saying is tell the truth 99% of the time. You should never know you when you need that 1% to tell a lie. Now, you know, that's what he said. But no, you have to, if at all possible, be honest with everybody. Be honest. And if it's a case where honesty will hurt, if you can do it, keep quiet. Just keep quiet. Just say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I gotta go. You know, I gotta go. Ooh, this water tastes so good. I mean, do something. This sometimes you got to learn how to open your mouth, and sometimes you got to learn how to close
Yeah, because I figured out when you tell a lie, you got to tell nothing covered up.
it. Yep.
And then you want to look with power lies.
Mm-hmm.
You forgot what you said down here.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I say, and then you caught in
Mm-hmm.
knee deep lies and knee deep lies.
Mm-hmm.
They fall on your head.
Mm-hmm. 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 Now, what was that other
Accountability and respect.
accountability? Well, accountability is well, accepting responsibility for your actions. Accepting responsibility for your actions. Like they always say, you're gonna be held accountable. So be careful about what you do this day or tomorrow. You know, everything that we do while we're on this side of heaven has a consequence. Be it a good
Mm-hmm.
consequence, be it a good consequence or a bad consequence. But regardless, is what? It's still a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And you will have to be held accountable. Hmm.
Yep.
Hmm.
The next one was fairness.
Fairness, fairness. Well, again, treat people fair. And like as you know, and maybe your audience may or may not know, I run three groups.
Mm-hmm.
Well, really more than that, but three main
More than
groups.
that, more than that, more than that,
Yes.
yeah.
And there are times I have to enforce the rules. And people I'm not friends with, whatever, yeah. It might be easier for me to enforce the rules though. But what about those who I am friends with? and they violate rules, you know. Well, guess what though? I have to enforce the rules with them as well. It's tough, but that's where fairness comes in. You know, you got to treat everybody equally. And I have to say this, treat everybody equally and with respect.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to wait for someone to say, well, yes, sir, Mr. Evans, or yes, sir, Mr. Walker. I start off saying, uh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I started off, yes, ma'am. Yeah, I
Yeah.
started off. I don't even wait for it. I just say it. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mr. This, or thank you, Miss That. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I say the hardest thing for us to do is to show respect somebody who is mean or treat us in the wrong way. But we're not gonna be judged on how they treated us. We're gonna be judged on how we treated them.
Well, I'm gonna tell you though,
I know it's hard.
I have not. I have
I
yet
know I know
to
it's hard.
arrive.
It's hard for me too. It's hard for me too.
Ooh, you know, I put up with it for so long though.
Yeah.
I put up with it so long though, and then I said, "Wait a minute, now listen here," and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah, but I know it's hard, but but like I said, we're not gonna be judged on how to treat them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because in my life I've been disrespected, I have been walked on, I have things done to me that were not right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when that first happened, I was so mad and upset, and when I said and I did some things that I shouldn't have done back in the day.
Uh-oh. Did you fight him? Did you get to fighting?
I would get them back, and I would get them back, and they would not know it was me. I was one of those sneaky. I was one of those sneaky persons. I'd get them back, and they would know it was me.
Mm-mm. Uh-oh. Well, one of my former pastors, and he's gone to glory, and he said this, and I use this to this day. He said, "It's not what happens to a person that makes or breaks them, but rather how that person responds to it." Okay,
Yes,
so you know it's our response to it that makes the difference. Hmm.
yes. The Nelson's courage.
Well, and I don't care about the man, but I got to quote him though. John Wayne. I don't care about him, but he said this: courage is being afraid, but you're gonna saddle up anyway and do what you got to do. That's
Yes,
courage. There's no harm in being afraid now. You know, it's be honest. You know, a big old poisonous rattlesnake come into your living room. You know, of course you have a right to be afraid of that. I am. I'm gonna run. You know, I mean, we don't have that emotion for nothing. I mean, yeah, you it's all right to fear, but you know, you have to also realize that you have to move forward. You have to move forward. You have to have the courage to do the right thing. You have to have the courage to live right in front of the young men that we'll try to mentor to and act as a living example to. We have to have courage to do the right thing by our women, by our wives, our helpmeet, our female partners. We have to have the courage. It takes more courage to do right than to do anything.
showing up.
It takes more courage to do right.
Yeah, because the majority is saying do wrong, you do right. Your face and them and the world and social media and everybody.
Hmm. And I think about that song, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. Well, look at Samson.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Look at Samson, or look at King Solomon in his later years. Had all the I don't know how he dealt with that,
I
but
don't
had
know how
all
I do
those
it. No, I can't.
uh,
I,
you
I, I,
know,
I got one. I got one I can deal with.
uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. And then we ain't gonna definitely go into King David, his daddy, King David.
No, no.
I mean, but they had their flaws, but they were used by God in mighty ways, though.
Yeah, yeah. And going back, King David, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time
Mm-hmm.
because David was supposed to be at the war. But
Mm-hmm.
he said, I don't stay home. Then I'm kind of tired. And then he was looking over Bannister and saw Bathsheba. So we gotta be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Again, just be ye ready. You have to, if you know what your shortcomings are, you know, if you love chocolate, if you just addicted to chocolate, then don't go into a candy store, okay? And walking around because you're gonna be tempted, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hey, I mean, my vice is junk food, okay? And junk food ain't good for you. So if I'm sitting up here saying I don't need to be bothered with junk food, but I go somewhere where junk food is in abundance, that's my fault. I knew better.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. The last one is responsibility. That's a big one.
Oh boy, that's a huge one.
Mm.
You have to be responsible. We have to be responsible as men, okay? And as a result of us men not being responsible, misandry has run amok. And
Mm-hmm.
misandry is the hatred of men.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, misandry. Uh and now you have women, a lot of women hating men. You know, now some of it might be far fetched on their end, but at the same token, we're not doing ourselves any favors either.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, we got to come together. We got to come together. And we as men, we definitely have to step up.
That's right.
We step up. We may not like this, but we really got to prove ourselves worthy again. We got to do what we need to do.
That's right. Because
You
it's
know,
time. It's his time.
we can blame the man, and definitely the man had a part in it. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But there are things we're responsible for. There are things that we could have did better.
Mm-hmm.
Things that we can do better. Things that we should be doing better. So there's a lot of blame to go around though, but at the end of the day, the onus of responsibility fall on us as men, or we as men.
We as men. You know what? Every company takes a risk analysis,
Hmm.
and in that they look at what they look at the profits and losses.
Hmm.
They look at what they're good, what they're bad.
Yes.
It's time for us men to take a risk analysis of our lives.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
time for us men to do that.
Yes, we do. We need to look at the net gains and net losses. We gotta make sure we're in the black. We gotta make sure we're in the black. Because they say if you're in the red, that means you're losing.
Yeah.
And Dang, I had to wear red today when I said that. But if you're in the red, you lose it. But if you're in the black, that means you're good, that you're doing good. So we got to get out the red. We got to get out the red, though. We're not doing, because, it's a shame when you hear women, especially black women, say, well,
Mm-hmm.
there's no good men left, and all the other black men, they're gay
In jail or
or
in
in jail
jail.
or dead or what have you. So we got to put a stop to that. As men, we got to prove that, hey, there are some good men out there, and we got to raise a next generation of good men.
Yeah, yes, and in that risk analysis, they cut out some things that's not working for the company.
Mm-hmm.
They cut out some things. It may be bringing you a profit, but it may be bringing your but 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 it may be bringing your workers um your workers down. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we gotta cut some things out of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta cut some things out of our lives.
Well, we have to. I mean, some things we have to let go. Again, if we want to lead by example, there's some things we got to stop doing. It's just plain and simple.
That's right.
You know, it's like this old joke I hear in church. You can hear a man say, "Well, I done stopped drinking whiskey," you know, making it sound like he did something great. I said, "No, bro, you stopped drinking whiskey because your liver shot." You
Mm-hmm.
know, "Oh, I don't smoke no more." Well, of course you don't. Your lungs gone. And, well, I done stopped chasing women. Well, okay, like the old joke say, what does a dog and an old man, let me see, let me get this right. An old man chasing young women is like a dog chasing a car. Once they catch what they was after, they can't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So we got to do better, folks.
Yeah,
We got to do
It's
better.
time for step up to the plate
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and take our rightful place.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's our. So we suggest that all the men out there just want to say, just do what's right.
Okay.
Just do what's right.
Yes. Yes.
Just do
Okay.
what's right.
Okay. That's all we have to do. That's all. And pray the Lord to help us and
And
lead us and guide us in the right way.
and sometimes doing what's right is not popular. Just know that.
Hmm. Hmm. That's why I said the most courageous thing to do is to do the right thing. Hmm.
Yes. Well, I thank you, Mr. Mike Walker. Do you have any? Do you have any? Do you have any? Do you have any comments for our audience?
Just thank you for being here. It's been good. It's been a pleasure. And, I enjoyed the show. And again, this, especially you men, we got to do better. Let's do better.
Mm-hmm.
And for the sisters out there, just be patient with us and help us out when we need help.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay. I got to go with my sponsors. The mission of Innovation is to support and encourage the participation of people who are blind and visually impaired into a spiritual community where each individual is encouraged
Hmm.
to utilize their God granted gifts and talents as they journey towards wholeness in mind, body, and spirit. The email address is ivawakening@gmail.com.
Hmm.
The phone number is 678-718-7063.
Hmm. Hmm.
My next sponsor is SimTech. We provide titles for cars, tractors, houses, cars, motorcycles in any state. This is the last one, y'all. It's the last one. It's the last one. Lisa Parks, director of Image Com Group, search and social content local. The website is www.imagecomgroup.com. They got two phone numbers: 678-786. I mean 678-687-9542 or 470-238-9152. And if you want to see this again, you can go to the website, which is Don't Give Up the Movement.net.
And you got sponsors. I ain't got no sponsors. I need to talk to my agent about that.
You can go to the website. You can hear it. You can see it. Click on podcast videos or podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one-stop shop.
Yes.
That's the one-stop shop.
Mm-hmm.
And here's everything for you. The
Yes.
one-stop shop, the website for the podcast, the Facebook, it's on Google Podcasts, Castbox, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. So if you want to hear this again, you can hear it again.
Mm-hmm.
And our goal is to encourage y'all to not to give up on anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
You may have hard times, you may have struggles, but don't give up. Don't, because I need you, the world needs you, we need you, we need you, we need you. We need you to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Have a great day, and don't give up, don't give up, please don't give up.
Don't give
Keep
up,
pushing.
y'all. That's
Keep
it.
pushing.
Keep on.